That ain't annoying, is it? No. Anyway, in one of my other videos on one of my other channels, somebody was asking me what camera do I use. Well, I use different different cameras for different situations. But for my run and gun type stuff, for instance, I'm doing like selfie videos, vlogging. What I use is an actual camcorder. What? A camcorder? Yes. A camcorder. Yes, some people still use them, Yeah. Now, I was using a phone for a bit, and I still do sometimes, depends what I got with me. If that's all I got with me, that's what I use. But what do I prefer using? Now, I have to be absolutely honest with you. It is a camcorder. So many different reasons. You get mad, don't you? Why don't you just use your phone? I tell you one of the reasons I use a camcorder over a phone is, well, the fact it's quick. You literally just open the side up and it works. So if I just got an idea or I try to capture something, I don't miss it. The problem with a phone is you have to go into the app. Half the time my fingers are touching the screens, I hold it like that, and it's you know what happens, don't you? And by that time, if you've got it all set and ready to go, the moment is lost. It ain't with a camcorder. Plus, you have a lovely strong zoom. In this case, this one has a 32 times zoom. I can't remember what the I think it's like 24 times optical, and then it goes to the rest of it's sort of digital, something like that. Either way, it's a very long zoom. I mean, if you had that on a camera, it's going to be like that long, But on a camcorder, because of the way it's set up, it is relatively easier to manufacture a lens setup that has high magnifications, and also this has very good stabilization. It has hybrid OES, stabilization, so it's more than one axis. Axis, more than one axis. So it stabilizes in all different angles and stuff, which makes a darn sight more sense than a mobile phone again. Just have everything digitized. It's what you're doing is you're effectively putting pixels where they're not supposed to be and trying to take pixels away where they are supposed to be. The actual computer is having to think what should be there. When you have an actual optical system, it's the lens. The lens is doing the work. The camera hasn't got to work as hard. So it makes a lot more sense in many ways. This is actually a hybrid system on there. It actually has it's digital as well. It's all kind of worked in together. Now, this particular one had but to be the best camera for me. It's not necessarily everyone's cup of tea. One thing, I've got a plate on the bottom. There's a Manfrotto style plate, and on the back here you have your battery. I use a relatively smallish battery. I just have more of them, so I can plonk the battery in like so. I haven't got a card in it at the moment, so it's probably like a beep 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 beep. But also I have it on a selfie stick, so I use a very cheap, flexible, safe selfie stick that it's like a little three-legged tripod, a bit like a Gorilla Pod, but without all the knobbly bits on. Right, still bendy and stuff, and it's been absolutely brilliant. I did have to change the ball joint on it because it didn't really lock properly, never did. When you get a bigger camera on there, that was a bit of an issue. So I changed that, and it done the trick. And I use that all the time. I've had it a while now. I've had it for about 4 years. Surprising how long it lasts. Lasts longer than a Gorilla Pod, because Gorilla Pods, they get loose after a while, you see. They wear. The other thing is, I wanted to have a top handle, such as this one. Okay? The only thing is, they're actually quite expensive, and too big for a camcorder of this size, because it's a fairly compact camcorder. You don't want it too big if you're doing vlogging with it, do you? That'd be a bit crazy. So, what I did is I made my own. This is my little top handle. It was made out of a piece of old walnut. Was it walnut cherry? Walnut. And, actually, is it cherry? No, it's cherry, sorry. I have a piece of cherry. And I had this cold shoe I chopped into there as well. It's all bolted through. Nothing is just relying on glue. Like, for instance, I've got a recessed part here. That is a knurled spacer. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. I could took them off. Right, I'll put one in there. Oh, there we go. It's one of those. Okay? Which came with something else. Right? And that's what I've got inside there. and then I've used a cold shoe adapter on there, and then I've locked it all off with glue, what have you, but also that is bolted all the way through, so it can't come undone, right? And I've shaped it to my hand, so that is my top handle. It's not as big as the ones that you see on a lot of these cameras, but hang on, look at the size of it. It doesn't need one that big, right? So that is what that is for. So let's place that on there, all right? So give you the idea. And why is a top handle handy? Is if you're actually doing running gun, but you want it low, right? And because I've been videoing my dogs, I want it low, right? I was always look on the eggs. I don't want to do that. I want it to be low. So that's why I got the top handle. So this is the kind of setup I have with the top handle. I have also got my light, like this one. If I'm using a light, I don't always use the light. I'd have the light in here like so. If the light wasn't going in there, it would be the receiver for my audio. And I'm using a Boya radio mic. That's a great little thing. I'm really pleased with this one. Yeah, so I then fit this up top of here like so. I then grab my little microphone on there like so. So it's nice and close to my gob. Alright, now, how do I get... Oh, no, I don't put that way around. I put it that way around. Right, because usually... Well, it actually depends if I'm doing it in selfie style or whatever. I want to see my audio. And I don't think you can see that on there. The audio is, or should be, jumping up and down as I'm speaking. Yep, it's taking the audio. So now, that information needs to go into the camera. And luckily, the VX1 has a input on the side here. Okay? See, this is a nice thing about things like this as well. Ever since the mobile phones have been, how to put, bastardised by some of these manufacturers, like getting rid of the DIN ports, you can't plug a microphone into it directly. You have to use an adapter of some kind, or some kind of special microphone with a USB-C on it. That's a nightmare, okay? So I've got a good quality cable, because I don't want to pick up any RF noise from the camera itself, or anything else. It's really important. If you want good audio, you need good cables. I've tried everything, all right? And they don't work. They just don't work. You'll pick up, if you've got like fluorescents or LEDs, they'll pick up noise from them. You make sure it's a well-screened cable. Look at the thickness of that, right? That's a proper cable. That's a decent quality cable. The only thing is, it only came in that length. But I only needed about that length. So as you can see, yeah, I've got this piece of rubber on the side there. Something that I was stuck on with like a double-sided pad. And it's a clear pad material. It's actually quite good. I can't remember what it's called now. Like, it sticks like hell. It really does. So I've got that stuck on there. I can get off if I want to, if I needed to. And then I can just daisy chain that, or what would you call that? Sweep that down there like so. Depending on where the actual receiver is mounted on the camera. Alright. There's another reason for this setup. You see I've got this little rubber thing here. Right, you see I've got my little rubber thing, and I've got a right hand angled cable, plug on my cable. Now what I was finding was happening is if I didn't have that up there like so, every time, right, I did the cable moved and went round like so, it unplugged itself. I don't see that. Actually went out, came out. It's actually loose now. So I do that, and I do that, and that way it can't twist. Then that goes in there, obviously. So put that back in there. Alright, and that's locked in there nicely. That's good. You have to pull it through a little way. Obviously, the bits of rubber don't actually go over the top of the cable. And then the excess, depending on where I've got the actual receiver mounted, in this case, it's actually a bit way away because I'm using the light. And that is it. So that is basically how I set up my audio, my top handle, and my light with the VX1. It looks like a mistake, what have you, but it works really well for me, you know. Or if I'm doing selfie, so I can see my audio. And at the moment, I've got audio going into the camera. Although I've got a battery on there, but there's no memory card on it at the moment. So it works, you know. And if I'm not going to use a light, the actual Receiver for the microphone. Literally just locks straight onto there. It makes it even more compact. Alright, so it's quite nice. And if I don't want to use a handle, I can then put it directly onto the camera itself. The only thing is, what I don't like about that idea, well, it actually doesn't work that well anyway, because it's hard to actually get it into the cold shoe adapter. It doesn't go all the way in. As you can see, it's sitting at an angle because there's not enough room there, because the actual cold shoe is set below the the surface of the actual, as you see, it's higher here and higher there, and it comes up with a bit of a sweep there, you see. So it doesn't work that well. Sometimes if I do that, generally I just hook it onto the wire and make sure it's facing towards me like so. Alright, so that works for me if I'm not using the handle. I also have, which do I have in here? I have a three-way adapter. That'd be three-way adapters. If I want to, I can use that on there like so, and then I can actually just attach whatever I want onto that, and that works quite nicely. It's just I quite like what I've done with it, and it works really well for me. And I'm using this camera a lot. And being as it's 4K, the quality is very good. The lens is a nice, good quality lens. And when you zoom into it, you find you get less artifacts. Whereas with mobile phones, the way they process the image, it's a bit bizarre. Some phones have a bit of a swirl to them and stuff. It's unnatural. Now, obviously, some phones are better than others at it. But, you know, I don't like it. I prefer to use this if I can. If I have to use a mobile phone, what have you. I do anyway. Don't forget to beat the old like button. Oh dear. So yeah, what setup are you using for doing your videography, where you need audio and maybe you need a top handle of some description? Are you happy just with your mobile phone set in a cage or something like that, or maybe using a mirrorless camera or an SLR even? You know, it's at the end of the day, it depends on what you got as well, doesn't it? You know, to what you can actually use. I've tried all sorts of things regarding being an all-rounder, and that has to be my fire just went out, bagger. Anyway, I have to admit, this has been my favourite so far. For a compact unit, does fairly incredible video, nice and sharp, good colours generally, and it just works. And that topped with this little Boya microphone. Can't remember what it's called now. It's called something. It's just called Boya mic. And it works well. Now, one of the things I like, but this is very similar to the DJI and also the Rode, because these actually record on the actual. You can actually save the audio. You can set it so you just record the audio directly onto the microphones. And with this setup, you have two of them, so you got a backup, which is quite nice as well. Yeah, especially if you've got a lot of interference. Anyway, there you go. Tell me what you think. Do you like my top handle? I made out of lump of wood. Okay. I think I made quite a nice job of it. It works. I've used it a lot now. Probably need some more polish on the mine, but there you go. Time for me to go, so I can say toodaloo, you know. So toodaloo, and please, beat the old like button and comment down below.